Well, friends, we are just connecting to YouTube Live also. So, all participants who have a YouTube Live connection can join, or you can join on Zoom. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to our ACUTALK episode. And this time, our topic is the sun Jiao. Believe me, Sun Jiao is one of the most interesting and the most complex concepts of acupuncture. It is not simply the channel that we think about. There are practitioners whom I know, their whole practice of acupuncture is based on Sanjya only. And today you will understand why that is so. Friends, this reminds me of a very interesting concept. I'll give you an example of our thyroid hormones. We all know that the thyroid gland, it's an endocrine gland and it is located in the neck region. And it produces hormones, okay? Friends, there is a communication that the video is not being seen. Let me just check it out. All right, let's begin again. So, friends, today we are going to try and get a glimpse of the Sanjiao. Sanjiao is one of the most intriguing, the most interesting, the most complex concept of acupuncture. And we look at it as a channel mostly, but it is much more beyond just a acupuncture channel. In fact, all the channels of acupuncture are energies. Okay. Channel is just a way, a mechanism of controlling the energies. Okay. Like when we say lung channel, so actually it is the remote control for the lung energy and so on and so forth. So the Sanjiao channel controls and helps to control the Sanjiao energy. Now, let me share with you some interesting fact. We all know that our thyroid gland, which is an endocrine gland, is situated in the neck and it produces the thyroid hormones. But if you study the concept, the physiology very carefully, the thyroid produces the raw material, and that raw material is sent to the liver for activation. So only when the liver is able to charge, to energize this raw material, does the actual thyroid function begins. The hormonal effect begins. So also in acupuncture, we are dealing with various energies which we call chi. And it is said that the organs, they are the manufacturers, they create this energy, different energies, okay, different organ, the zang organs create different energies. But let me tell you, all these energies need to be activated by the Sanjaya. That is how important it is. And that is why treating or using Sanjaya energy is very, very important if you want to get very good results. Now, let me share with you a small slide presentation which will give you a glimpse of what Sanjaya is. And then we'll go into the clinical part where we will see how Sanjaya can be effectively used in our day-to-day practice. So let us begin by sharing the screen. All right, here we are. So the Sanjiao channel, also known as triple warmer, is one of the most mysterious topics in acupuncture. And today we are going to understand what Sanjiao holds in store for us. What are the secrets? What are the fantastic results it promises us? The traditional wisdom shares something very interesting. The Sanjiao is seen as a system of body cavities, and it is also known as burner, and it's not an organ but a complex of cavities outside of or in between the internal organs. Now, this is something which one has to understand very, very clearly. And the classic of categories, that's a very ancient book by a Chinese author, Zhang Jingyu. It says that the outside of the internal organs and inside the body, okay, so between the organ and between the exterior of our body, that is between the skin and the internal organ, like wrapping the internal organ, is a net, a cavity that is called fu. It has the name of a ditch, but the shape of a fu, young organs. He also said the internal organs have substance. The cavities are like a bag that contains that substance. And there is another classical book which states that there is a minister fire in the body which moves within the cavities and up and down in between the membranes. It is called the triple burner. So triple burner also correspondingly links to the fire element. Now let's move ahead. Triple burner is the fire energy organ. This organ is also called the minister of dikes and dredges. What is its importance? It is responsible for the movement and transformation of various solids and fluids throughout the system, for the production and circulation of nourishing energy, the yin qi, and production and circulation of protective energy, wei qi. Now, this is a solid statement. That means the San Jiao alone is maybe assimilating all the other energies. It is gathering all the energies and activating them and putting it back into circulation where it performs the task. You must make yourself conversant with the body cavities. These are the various body cavities within us, the chest, abdomen, pelvic, joints, space between skin and muscle, the space above the diaphragm, the space in between the membranes, and the space between the membranes and the abdominal cavity. So, these cavities are very important. And I remember mentioning in one of our earlier ACUTALKs where I had stated that lot of energy is there in our hip joint cavity and the knee joint cavity. And it is because of disharmony of these two joints, we get illnesses of these joints and other problems as well. So the body cavities are very important and they are connected to Sanji. Now look at this particular chart very carefully. Here on the left hand side, you will see that the three cavities, the chest, the abdomen, and the pelvic cavity, they correspond to upper, middle, and lower burners. And they have a in and out function. Now look at this very carefully. The energy coming in Sanjiao and going out of Sanjiao in an activated form. This is the beauty, the secret of Sanjiao. Now, as a rule, the thing that you have to keep in mind is that the upper burner controls the intake, the middle burner controls the transformation, and the lower burner controls elimination. So if you have problems linked to intake, then you have to look at the upper burner. If you have problems linked to transformation, then you have to link to middle burner. Or if you have problems linked to elimination, you have to look at the lower. The upper burner controls the intake of air, food, and fluids. It harmonizes the functions of heart and lungs, governs respiration, and regulates the distribution of protective energy to the body's external surface. So, if you have cases where you have problems with heart, lungs, respiration, etc., you must treat the upper burner also. okay, or the point. So we'll come to that, how to treat that. The middle burner, it controls the functions of the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. Hence, the use of Sanjiao in diabetes is very important. What does the middle burner do? It is responsible for extracting nourishing energy from food and fluids and distributing it via the meridian system to the lungs and other parts of the body. And last, the lower burner. It separates the pure from the impure, absorbs the nutrients, and eliminates solid and liquid waste. It harmonizes functions of liver, kidney, bladder, large and small intestine, and also regulates sexual and reproductive functions. So, friends, I've given you a brief introduction about the Sanjiao, the upper, middle, and the lower burners. What do they govern? Which energies they are able to control and activate. So now I will hand over the presentation to Dr. Chirag. He will give you the practical tips of how to use Sanjiao in different conditions. Basically, it is on these three levels: the triple burner points, actual points, the directing vessel points, and the 3 points for edema. So I will ask Dr. Chirag to share his screen. I will make him the host and then he will be with you.
Hello, everybody. So just let me load the presentation. All right. So here we are. The clinical applications of Sanjiao. Now, as Dr. Mayank has demonstrated or elaborated till now, Sanjiao is a system of cavities, and it is the flow of chi through those cavities which we need to manipulate with our points. Now, with every level of points, I will also at the end give you a sample prescription of how to use the Sanjiao. One statement I would like all of you to keep in mind is that the Sanjiao is the youngmost channel in the body because it is absolute pure energy. And if you manipulate it correctly, if you stimulate it correctly, you will experience the Dei along with the patient when you needle the point. All right. So with this, we are going to go through three category of points which influence the movement and transformation of chi. The first level is the triple burner points, which are just 2 points on the triple burner channel or the Sanjiao channel. The first and the most important point is triple burner 4, which is also called Yang Chi. Now, this point is the Yuan source point. What it does is it tonifies the original Qi, which is Yuan Qi, and it influences the penetrating and directing vessels. along with bladder 64, Jingu, which is the yuan source point of the bladder channel. It regulates the transformation of fluids above and below. Above doesn't mean necessarily above in height, it means more towards the surface, that is sweating, and below is urination. Now, as it treats the space between the skin and the membranes, it is extremely useful in B syndromes, which are pain syndromes due to dampness. Just keep this in mind. Triple burner 4. After triple burner 4, we have triple burner 6. Triple burner 6, it regulates the penetrating and directing vessels to move chi in the lower burner spaces. It promotes the transformation of fluids. Now you have noticed both these points are acting only on the lower burner, means they are directly interacting with the source chi, the original chi, and helping its regulation. Along with it, they're directly helping the kidneys, they're helping the bladder, and in effect, helping the nourishing chi and the defensive chi. Okay. So 2 points on the triple burner channel, which are essential, are triple burner 4 and triple burner 6. Now, just a quick recap of the points. Triple burner 4 is right here. A trick to locate this point is when you hold the hand up, you just strain it like this. And where this tendon ends, this is where you'll feel the depression. This is where triple burner 4 is. You strain the hand a little and you will see it. You can see the tendon where it joins the bone. This is where it is. And 3 shown above is triple burner 6. These are the 2 points which you all must know and practically use. Moving forward, we have the directing vessel points, simply the conception vessel points. These are the vital points to activate the individual burners, upper, middle, and lower. Any guesses for the upper burner point on the directing channel or the CV channel? Any guesses? Come on, be active. CV12 for the upper burner? No. Come on, more people active. Will we be like, oh God, we knew this? No? Okay. All right, it's REN 17. Yes, it has to be REN 17. REN 17 corresponds to the upper burner. Now, this point helps to regulate the spaces of the chest cavity and especially the descending of the chi. Okay, so REN 17, everybody knows the location. It's on the sternum at the level of the nipples. You needle it gently along the skin. Then for the middle burner, we have REN 12, which corresponds to the middle burner, essential point to regulate the ascending and descending of chi in the middle burner. Now, the third statement which I have written here is very important. It promotes the transformation of fluids in all burners as it is in the middle. So, with the help of REN 12, you can regulate the chi of the upper burner as well as the lower burner. All right. And the lower burner point, extremely important. One of the first points you must use when you want to stimulate the Sanjia. So REN 5, it is the front move point of the lower burner. It promotes the transformation of fluids in the pelvic cavity. Also, along with REN 4, it strengthens the original chi directly. Thus, promotes the transformation of fluids at the root. All right. So we have REN 17 for the upper burner. We have REN 12 for the middle burner. REN 12 can be used to help regulate the function of the upper as well as the lower burner. And then we have REN 5 along with REN 4 to communicate directly with the original chi. Okay. A quick recap of the points. We have REN 17 right here at the level of the nipples. We have REN 12 right here, which is about 4 shun above the umbilicus. And we have REN 5 right here and REN 4. All right. Now we come to the last set of points which are vital for the Sanjia. They are more to do with the actual fluids which accumulate in the cavities. The 3 points for edema. The first point is called Du26 Renzong. It is called as water ditch. It equates to the lungs which are in the upper burner. It had a Chinese term as well. I will put it up later. Now it is useful for the invasion of wind in the upper burner, causing edema of the hands and face. That is when you can use Renzong. Ren 9, water separation. It equates with the spleen and the middle burner. Spleen not transporting and transforming. And the symptoms you might encounter: loose stools, edema of the abdomen and the legs. That is when you will use REN 9. And lastly, stomach 28, which is water passages, equates to the kidneys, which is in the lower burner. When the kidneys and bladder are not functioning well, they are not excreting, leading to edema, that is urinary problems, and edema around the ankles and the feet. This is when we can use stomach 28. All right. So these are the 3 category of points. One are on the channel itself, one are on the conception channel, and one set is for edema. Now, with this knowledge, I'm going to share a sample prescription with all of you. It is for the kidney and bladder disorders. Now, this is what we have applied and tested, and then we are giving this to you. The first point we usually apply is REN 4. We gently tonify it for 1 or 2 minutes till the De Chi is experienced. Once you experience De Chi, you give stomach 28 bilaterally. After stomach 28, you stimulate bladder 64 and tonify gently for 1 or 2 minutes till the De Chi is felt. Now you notice the sequence. First, we are communicating with the original Chi. We are communicating with the lower burner. Then we are using the points for edema in the lower burner. And then we are helping the Chi descend further through the urinary bladder by stimulating the bladder 64 point, which is the source point of the UB channel. This sequence just by itself, and most importantly, experience of De Chi by the patient, and you will get remarkable results in kidney and bladder disorders. So this is a basic guideline of how to use the Sanjiao channel and the 3 levels of points. All right. With this, I'm handing back the presentation to Dr. Mayank.
Thank you, Dr. Chirag, for the clinical tips. And friends, what is very, very important is to understand this concept that any channel you stimulate, any energy you stimulate, okay, whether it's lung, liver, spleen, heart, any channel, that energy is going to go into the sanjya, into the cavities. Somehow there is a mechanism there. And from those cavities, the energy will come back into our circulation. And when it comes back into our circulation, it is going to work. It is that energy which is going to have an effect. So you must make it a point that whenever you need strong energies, okay, because in a routine case or ordinary condition, when you don't use Sanjay, the other stimulation is enough because that would automatically, you know, activate the Sanjay and make it work. But in chronic and difficult cases, you must make it a point to use Sanjay energy, the core energy. Like we have discussed earlier, the Sanjiao handles three energies: the Yuan source, the Ying Qi, and the Yang Wei Qi. So the protective energy, the nourishing energy, and the source energy all are controlled by Sanjiao. That is how important it is. So make use of the Sanjiao energy through the three routes that were shown to you. The 2 points on the Sanjiao itself, the Sanjiao 4 and 6. Then there are the points on the REN channel, which are very effective for the upper, middle, and lower burners. And there are special edema points. Now, what is the importance of these edema points? Any guess? The edema points are nothing but dampness. And as you all know, most rheumatism cases are due to toxic dampness. And to give results in rheumatic conditions, you will need the edema regulation points because in rheumatism there are swellings everywhere. So the dampness control points that were shown to you will also be very useful. At the same time, in cases of arthritis, where everybody tells you that, okay, the cartilage is damaged, it is actually the dampness or the lubrication which is a problem. So, because the lubrication is a problem, you need to send in the proper lubrication to the joint. And that you can do by the edema control points themselves. So when you use those edema control points, you will find that the arthritic cases will also improve, or the rheumatoid cases will also improve. So today, we have given you one very important concept, the concept of activating the chi. Okay. So when you just stimulate one point, say on the lung channel, lung 5, in simple cases, acute cases, it may be okay. But in chronic cases, you will need to loop it, connect it to the Sanjiao network. That is how the energies will balance themselves, they will synchronize within the body and give you the results. I hope this small presentation on Sanjiao has been useful for you and you will be able to use it in your day-to-day practice. So now we will be open for questions. Anybody having any questions can, I will just give you the unmute option. You can unmute yourself one by one and you can ask your question. Yes, any questions? Either you can raise your hand or you can ask a question directly.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, can it be used in all the cases of kidney failures or the kidney diseases?
Yes, yes, it is very important uh, because kidney failure is actually failure of your original energy. Okay, the kidneys, the Ming Man, these are all the core, the source energies, and kidney failure is a very serious thing. So, whenever there is a kidney failure, you must use the Sanjiao energies, the lower burner energies need to be activated, and there are different protocols to activate, but you must use the specific REN points, you must use the edema control points, and you must also use the corresponding channel points or the element points. Okay, so that will become a prescription, a formula to manage kidney failure. Of course, renal failure, kidney failure has different etiologies. Uh, I would say there are failures due to hypertension, failure due to diabetes, failure due to infections, failure due to autoimmune disease, then your formulas may slightly change. Okay, you can add and subtract something, but the center point of your prescription will be Sanjiao and you will get very good results. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so now there is a question on how is it useful in hypothyroid. Yes, definitely it is useful in hypothyroid because hypothyroid also you see edema all over the body. You also see dampness. So you must use the Sanjiao. Of course, you will have to learn the tonification and sedation modalities, okay, associated with Sanjiao and the other points. And that will help you balance the fluids in hypothyroid. So in hypothyroid, I found that the lung energy, that means the upper Jiao, will help you along with the liver energy. I just mentioned in the beginning, liver activates the thyroid hormone. So use the lung and liver. They are opposite to each other, control and controlling mechanism. Okay. Metal controls wood and wood in turn, if it is pathogenic, it can control metal. So it can be used for hypothyroid conditions. And there was one more question regarding uh, hormones, sciatica and bursitis, coughing at night. Okay. Now, for all these questions, clinical questions, I would suggest two things. One is do the element analysis also, okay, as per element system. And when you find that whatever is the element which is disturbed, according to that, you can select the burner, the upper, middle, or lower, and you can treat it. But remember that treating the yuan source through the yuan source energy is to be done very carefully. Otherwise, you will waste, dissipate that energy, and the patient may sink faster than you can imagine. So, the mastering of the Sanjiao channel is important. Read all the combinations that are associated with Sanjiao, and you will get good results. All right. And there was one more question. Diabetes, yes. Regarding pregnancy, okay, it is already a contraindication, a red flag in the acupuncture theory that acupuncture should not be encouraged in pregnancy as far as possible. So I would not recommend that particular treatment. But for diabetes, definitely we have discussed that the middle burner, it controls the pancreas, it controls the spleen, it controls the middle level of energies. Okay, so it is very useful if you combine the Sanjiao energy in diabetes. The best combination that I can think of is the Sanjiao is fire, okay? So fire is the mother of earth. So that shows the link of the element balance as well. So always use this combination of fire and earth when you are treating diabetes and you will get good results. Okay. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can type it. Okay. Okay. There's one last question, it seems. After delivery for fast recovery, can we treat lower birth? Well, the concept of treatments is applicable when the body cannot heal itself or when the body is disturbed. There is no such thing as fast healing and slow healing. Okay. If the healing is not happening, something is wrong. But there is no such concept of faster healing. Okay. So remove that from your mind. Remove that from your mind. But if you feel that there is stagnancy, if the normal milestones of recovery are not happening, then definitely you can use the Sanjiao energy. Well, there are questions on fibroids and pain. Of course, yes. Fibroids condition and pain, okay? The bi syndrome, as we discussed, dampness is one of the major contributing factors for pain. So you will find that Sanjiao is very useful, particularly in moving the fluid so that the edema reduces, nutrition improves, and you get lot of the source energy, okay, that comes into circulation and helps to heal the problem.
Sir,
Will it
so,
work for yeah, go ahead.
Tonification and sedation, I was asking about Sanjio channel. Like
Hmm.
to increase the dampness, we should tone, right?
Well, the concept is slightly different, okay, than what we are usually doing with other channels.
Hmm.
Here, as a concept, what you just mentioned, to improve the fluid, yes, that
Yeah,
I can say is the tonification, okay? Because
yeah,
in some conditions, there is actually, the fluids are reducing, and in layman's language, they say that the lubrication has gone.
Yes.
And this happens particularly with patients who are using sunflower oil.
Sorry?
And
Sunflower oil.
sunflower, remember this, I found in many cases that when patients undergo cardiac surgery and the surgeons blindly write, use sunflower oil,
Huh.
because they want to keep cholesterol at a lower level. Well,
Yes.
on that point, maybe it is okay that it will keep a lower cholesterol level, but it will also wash away all the fluids, the lubricants
Lubrication.
in your
Yeah.
joints. And we have found that too much use of sunflower oil without the balance with the natural ghee and all that, these patients in 2, 3, 4 years will be the candidate for knee replacement, because the
Hmm.
knees are totally degenerated by the absence of fluids, okay, or the
Yes,
lubrication,
sir.
lubricating material. All right. So yes, there is a protocol to increase the
Hmm.
fluid. Okay, these are specialities. You can study it, you will get it. But yes, there are combinations where you can improve the fluid in the joint, and there are combinations where you can drain away the edema from the body. Okay.
So can we take one example? Like I have a sciatic patient, so not that sciatica. So with what I can combine best combination for like with triple warmer channel and sciatica is UB channel, right? So maybe GB and UB combination. Like
Well, you are on the right track. Again, sciatica also is of different categories. Okay, you must understand,
yeah.
and you can understand it from from the symptoms themselves. If the patient is getting very sharp, sudden pains, then it is something different. If the patient is having continuous dull pain, then
Hmm.
the things are different. If the patient is getting burning, then it is a different element. If the
Yes.
patient is getting coldness along with sciatica, lack of circulation and numbness, then it is a different element. So
Yes.
let your symptoms be your guide, and combine the element points, okay, along with
Hmm.
the Sanjiao points. That is the best
Okay.
thing you can do.
Okay, sir. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Any other question? I think we have answered. What about tonification with moxa on? Okay. Now, well, the rules of moxa applies here and applies in general. Moxa cupping and 7-star hammering, all these things you must experience, learn, and implement scientifically. Of course, you can use them in different ways, and that is the vastness of acupuncture. You can combine so many things in so many different ways, and you will be amazed by what you can do by all the different modalities. All right. Now, I would suggest that if there are any further questions, uh, we will be taking those questions in our group. Okay. Now, the point for uh, upper burner, middle burner, lower burner, yes, there are specific points for upper, middle, and lower. And just like we found in the REN correspondence, the uh, REN 17 is the point for the upper burner that really is useful. And endometriosis or any chronic condition, yes, I will emphasize that the Sanjiao is very, very important in chronic difficult cases. Okay. So don't forget Sanjiao and its energies when you're treating any chronic condition. Okay. Of course, carpal tunnel and all this, maybe you don't need to think too much unless it is a complicated case. If it's a complicated case, remember Sanjiao will come into the picture so one way or the other. All right. And usually we treat bilaterally. Okay. Wherever the points are bilateral, treat them bilaterally. That is recommended when you want to use Sanjiao energy. Okay, friends. So we come to the end of our ACUTALK, and I hope to see you again. I want all of you to be active, and you must post the topics of your choice, okay? So that we can cover them one by one. So don't be afraid. Keep on posting. Obviously, I cannot take all the topics at one go, but it will give us some indication of what you actually like to hear. Okay? So please send your suggestions for the topics that you want to be taken up in the future AccuTalk, and we will take it up. All right. So
Yes, sir.
with this, I conclude today's session. Have a nice acupuncture practice and good night for today.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
So can we
everyone.
keep general
Thank you, sir.
discussion sometime?
Pardon?
General discussions sometimes. Case history discussion sometimes.
Yeah, why not? You post your suggestions
Yeah.
and we can have clinical sessions where we can discuss different cases, how to handle them, and all that.
Yeah,
Okay?
sir. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Keep it frequently.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.